The following is a paid advertisement brought to you by the Juan Teeler for Congress campaign.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. I'm America's Juan Teeler. Let me tell you why I'd be great for Congress.
A friend when you need it. Say no to drugs.
No!
While the previous video was a joke, it shows the very scary possible future in which the internet is divided into two lanes, where wealthy business owners and wealthy politicians will be able to pay their way for faster internet service. So people like you and I, when we go to their websites or businesses, we won't have to see loading times or loading bars like that. However, starting out politician like Juan Teeler or the local business person that you may know will have to face loading times. Shows that there's a very unfair advantage.
Hey guys, my name is Maier. I am currently a student at UNT, that's the University of North Texas, and I'd like to talk to you about an article I read by the New York Times editorial board called Creating a Two-Speed Internet. Now, while I agree with the article and I encourage you to check it out, it's a great read, I don't think that the article really goes far enough in showing Tom Wheeler's position and how he influenced this whole net neutrality thing. Now, if you don't know who Tom Wheeler is, he's the head of the Federal Communications Commission, and net neutrality is an issue where certain companies would be allowed to charge, cable companies would be allowed to charge services like Netflix, Amazon, for faster speeds on their cable service. Now, the article makes the point that the FCC is going to keep things commercially reasonable so that cable companies don't overcharge these services like Netflix and Amazon for using the faster speeds. While this is true, it fails to mention why Tom Wheeler is actually going to benefit from this rule. Now, Tom Wheeler has strong ties to the cable and telecommunication industry, the wireless industry. He's worked as a venture capitalist and a lobbyist for over 20 years. He's the only person in the history of human beings, now the internet hasn't been around that long, but he's actually in both the Cable Hall of Fame and the Telecommunication Hall of Fame. So he's in both. Sasha Maier, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, is a New American Foundation Vice President and Director of New America's Open Technology Institute. She is quoted in the International Business Times as saying, I am skeptical whether the former chief lobbyist of the wireless and cable industries will be capable of holding former clients responsible for their ongoing shortcomings. So basically what she's saying, and I agree with, is that how can you keep Tom Wheeler, a guy who has a lot at stake in these companies, how are you going to keep him from having personal interest in making more money off of it? Now, the article also states that this would give broadband companies the right to create a HOV lane for wealthy businesses. Now, the article here misidentifies the fact that the broadband companies are the one who are going to set the rules for the HOV lane or create the HOV lane. In fact, it's going to be Tom Wheeler and the 5-member commission of the FCC that will be the ones given the right, considering that they will be enforcing the rules. So basically, they can have any company, do anything that they want. There's nothing really written in stone. Now, Craig Aaron, the president and CEO of the advocacy group Free Press, is actually a supporter of net neutrality. He really hits a nail on the head here in his statement in the Times.com article. Tom Wheeler doesn't get it. Encouraging discrimination and calling it net neutrality is ridiculous. He believes Wheeler's actions are not good for the internet, and he's not the only one. In fact, in May 2014, over 100 companies wrote Mr. Wheeler, including Netflix, Microsoft. They all tried to explain their disagreement with his plan, calling it a grave threat to the internet. Now, like I said before, there were many questions whether Tom Wheeler could even handle this. When he got the nod from the president to become the chairman of the FCC, there was a lot of turmoil in whether or not he'd be able to keep things fair. That sure is hot. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that I do agree with the New York Times article. I just feel that it didn't go far enough in linking Tom Wheeler to the net neutrality issue. I think it's important for the public, the average reader, to understand that Tom Wheeler has a lot at stake in this, and that is definitely why the bill should not be passed. It makes a much stronger case. Now, the internet is one of the last few places that we have complete freedom. And it should be the goal of the FCC. The reason the FCC is actually there is to provide a place that the government cannot attack, cannot take away. It's supposed to keep it free. I'd like to end with a quote by an American Civil Liberties Union senior policy analyst. His name is Jay Stanley, and I think he makes a good joke here. To quote him, "When you call Pizza Hut, you don't expect to get cut off because the telephone company has made a deal with Papa John's." Think about that. Thank you.